Hi ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. In this episode today we will be fixing this broken door handle. Okay, what had happened was our client here had closed the door and the latch got stuck. So they tried to open up the lock on their own, and in the process of doing so managed to damage the door. So we're going to do a bit of patchwork and hopefully to try to restore this door to become as good as new. Before we get into the video, do leave me a like, share and subscribe, and let's get into it. So before we begin patching this, we need to remove all the flaky wood. So I'm going to come in with a multi-tool and just try to scrape off as much of this loose stuff as I can, and then we'll go about and patching and making this better. That is done. Alright, want to make sure all the edges are smooth, and then we'll come in with the epoxy. So what I got here is my favorite stuff. It's a two-part epoxy. It's kneadable. What you do, you cut it off crosswise, and you can cut through the wrappers. Okay, there you go. Just don't slice open your hand like that. Make sure you get both the hardener and the epoxy itself. Pull that piece out and you start kneading them together. There you go. That's ready. Start patching it up. I like to go into the corners first, just to get a good amount of epoxy inside. And you want to build this up in layers. You don't want to go and put in a big chunk and try to smooth it out.
Alright, so now I'm going to come in with a blade, and the epoxy is still soft, and at this point you can actually trim the epoxy flush with the door or whichever surface you're working on. You want to keep your blade a bit wet so that it glides through and it can smooth out the epoxy as it goes along. You can take your time. It doesn't harden that fast, but you can't take too long as it's beginning to cure. So there is time for you to work and smooth out everything. Okay, now that it's beginning to harden, I can come in with my sander. I'm starting with a 60 grit and I'm gonna finish off with a 120 grit. The idea is to make it as smooth as possible, because every dent and every bump will show up on the vinyl surface once the sticker is up.
Right. Okay, so I've sanded this. Okay, I've patched this, I've sanded this. All these divots will be concealed by the lock, so all I'm interested in is the transition phase. So this doesn't matter. So I've sanded this and I'll give it about 15 minutes to finally harden up. Meanwhile, I'll go and get the laminate and we'll be right back to sticker the door. It's almost done. Okay, so we are back here again, and we have had the opportunity to let the door dry up just a bit. I put in a bit of gap filler putty just to fill in the little gaps and to make this as smooth as I can get it. I'm going to hit it with a bit of 600 grit sandpaper just to make sure that everything is smooth before I put on the vinyl wrap. Okay, so now that's done, I'll start cutting up the vinyl to make some holes so I can put my accessories in. And we have the new lock. Okay, I'll share in another video on how to replace locks, but I'm just going to speed through this with the new lock. Alright, so I put in the lock. Everything's good as new. You can hardly see the damage. So that's how you patch up and re-laminate a door so that you hide whatever damage you have. If you like that tip, do leave. Oh yeah, and check up here for the video on how to replace a door handle. I'll go through that step by step. This is a video on how to patch the door, not the door handle, so check up there. Like that tip, give me a like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.